Hi there, it's Laura from Laura Wamwell Photography, and joining me today is Al Wright, the owner of Canine Fun Zone in Caledonia. Hi Al, I'm so excited to be chatting with you today.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you.
So I would love to know, how did you get started in this business?
Dogs, and more dogs. The way I'm a cheap Scotsman, and the wife says, I saw an ad on Kijiji for a free chocolate lab, 7 months old. Came with a cage, food, came with lessons for for obedience. And I said, well, I can't say no to free. So we did a meet and greet with the dog, and my wife's ex-military, and the guy walks up with just got back from Afghanistan, so she hit off with the owner, and Georgie came walking up carrying a frisbee. Yeah, so that was the start of the Canadian Lab Squad. 2 weeks later, we ended up with Max. We got Georgie a playmate. 6 months later, we ended up with Gemma. And long story short, Gemma ended up being the previous owner was was a sister with Jersey's owner, so they knew each other as puppies. So so we were meant to have those two. So became good friends with the breeder, because we found out from the breeder because he was microchipped, and then we found out so we had a chocolate, we had a yellow, we had a silver lab, and we thought the first people said, well, we just had a litter of 13 black. So we got Marley.
We went to visit.
So we went to visit. Oh, let's go look. Yeah, then we ended up with Marley. So she's a half sister. It's Gemma. Then we started doing a lot of work with NOLA Lab Rescue. So we're helping transporting some of the dogs come up from NOLA, from New Orleans. And one of the dogs came up. There's 3 little brothers, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. And Louie ended up with parvo, so he was really sick. And the wife fell in love with him, so we just said, and she kept, so while he was in quarantine, we were talking, and every 2 seconds we just slip in, oh, by the way, I want Louis. So when Louis finally came out of quarantine, we took him in. We had a puppy party, a pool party at our place, so we had all 3 puppies. I took all 3 puppies in for a swim. And then they got them, having some fun there. And then when he came out, I handed my wife a food bowl. And she goes, "What's this for?" I said, "That's for Louie's forever mom."
Oh.
He didn't know about it, but I had already adopted him for Louie. So, and that's how we ended up with Louie.
Oh, goodness.
So, and then we ended up with, we said, well, we started doing a lot of competitions and that too, and Georgie was getting older, so I used to do a home inspection. So Georgie was a mold detection dog, so he could detect mold behind walls, and he was only one of 12 dogs in all Canada who could do that. So from the same breeder, we picked up 2 more dogs. So we picked up Ash and Amber, or the wife says Satan and Lucifer. And that too, and but they're both sweethearts and that too. So, and that too, and we do compete with them now too.
So how did you find your way into competition? I know the Lab Squad competes in all different sorts of things.
Yeah, so basically what happened was, we had a big in-ground swimming pool, and we could not keep the dogs up. They wanted to go in swimming all the time. So we did a Google search, and we put in pool swimming dogs, and we found out dogs. So we went to a competition just to check it out, and all the waves were full, so we couldn't compete or nothing like that. But we got some information, and we signed up for the next competition, and we found out there was one in London on a Saturday, and then Ontario Dogs had one on a Sunday. So we'll try them both out. So we went to our first competition, and I think they had 100 dogs jumping into a pond, and our Max came in second overall. Never competed before. Wow. So then to Ontario Dogs the next day, and both dogs ended up with a whole bunch of medals, and then we were hooked. So then we had the minivan, then we had a trailer, and then we had the RV, that too. So that's how we got into it. And then we saw this property here out in Caledonia, and we said we installed above ground swimming pool for our dog training, dog training, and we decided, well, why don't we just open up to the public so that when they're ready to retire, we can make a few bucks just to cover the cost of and basically your taxes and stuff like that too. And then it took off and doubled and tripled and in that now town. Like last year, we couldn't even get our dogs in swimming because our pool was fully booked all the time. So then we went to debt and bought a second pool and that too. And now that's getting pretty busy now as well.
So for folks who may not have heard of Canine Fun Zone, what sort of services do you offer out there?
Well, we have like two heated saltwater pools. One is 41 feet and the other one's 53 feet because we are some of the dogs I'm teaching are jumping over 30 feet, into the pool. So we got the big ones, the bigger pool for those jumping. So basically, you can just book everything right online and pay for it as well. The heated salt water, so you can actually go in swimming with the dogs, which that's easier. It's easier to coax a dog into the water if the owners are in, and then to get them some toy drive going in, swimming in that as well. Sometimes it's just older, 16, 17-year-old dogs are in there just for therapy. Put a life jacket on them and they can swim with no pain because there's no weight bearing on when they're swimming and that too. And they get some exercise. So it's really good for those ones. And then people get into the swimming and then they teach the dogs are jumping from the ramps. And then they said, oh, I want to start teaching the dog to jump from the dock. Then they start taking lessons. So we offer lessons on it. We've had over 100 world invites with all our dogs over the last 10 years. And so I'm the instructor for that. And some of the dogs I'm teaching right now are our last competition last weekend. We had 3 dogs on the same day, 3 different dogs, all jump over 30 feet, which is amazing. And that too, to see that. I think the world record is 32.10 at the present time. So we have some of the top Canadian dogs at our facility.
So you have pools, you have lessons. It seems like you're creating a whole bunch of new champions. What's your favorite thing to help with within your business?
Well, one of the things is teaching puppies how to swim. That's got to be the best. Seeing the faces on some of the owners when their dog, I teach the dogs to swim for the very first time, or getting them to jump off the dock for the first time, that too, or even when they're competing, they're getting that personal best after personal best because they're getting better and better and more confident, and that too, and to see the pride on the owner's faces makes me feel good, as the instructor, as well. So I don't care if the dog jumps 2 feet or the dog jumps 30 feet. As long as the dogs are having fun and enjoying it, that's what I look forward to.
So do the dogs have to have any experience with swimming whatsoever?
None whatsoever. So basically, if you're teaching the classes for introduction to dog jumping, there's usually four students with 4 dogs, all one at a time in the dog and pool, and everyone's going to be working at different levels. So some dogs who are already jumping, I'll work on that level. Some of the dogs are already swimming, they'll work on getting a more confident swimming. And once you have never swam, well, we teach them how to swim. So 4 different dogs could be all different levels. And by the end of the 4-week course, they're all jumping 100% success rate so far.
That is incredible. Are there any particular breeds that take to it more quickly or any that have challenges, or you can teach anybody?
We could teach it to any dog to jump, but again, you got to be reasonable. Like some dogs will do it because you're telling them to. Some will do it because they want to. The ones who want to is what you want to really compete with. The ones who are doing because you're asking them to, they're doing it. You say, well, I'll do it. I'd rather just go in swimming with your dad or mom and that too. So some dogs would just rather just go swimming and that too. Some, like to see the other dogs jumping, they get all hyped up. Like a lot of our clients, they say, our dogs are within like a couple of kilometers of this place. They know the route. As soon as you can get nearby, they're going nuts in the vehicle. They're whining, they're crying, they can't wait to get out. And then they get here, they're like hauling them up the dock as well because they can't wait to get on the dock. Same with our dogs, like the 2 puppies, Ash and Amber. Like they're literally bouncing up and down at the gate trying to get in. when I'm trying to do some training with them. And then if I have one of them on the dog, the other one's going nuts trying to get on the dog with the other one.
Oh, nice. So are you still competing with your dogs as well?
Not as much because like we're so busy here. So, but when we have competitions here, I try to compete. So we're actually next weekend is Ontario Dogs. So it's a club event. So I'm going to be sitting back a little bit and then actually going to be jumping, having some fun and jumping my own dog. So.
Oh, wonderful. So it sounds like you help owners to have a huge amount of fun with their dogs and teach them something new. Are there any challenges that you face within your business or within teaching the pets?
Well, like not every breed is gonna be perfect for it. Like say labs are usually great for swimming and that too, but any human, some are gonna be great at it, some are gonna be okay, some will do it because you're asking them to. So everybody's gonna be a little bit different. So you just play how the dog, reacts, how the dog reacts to the swimming part, and just play it by ear. So as long as dogs are having fun, that's all that matters. I don't care if they're swimming or if they're jumping, as long as they're having fun in the pool with their owners.
Absolutely. So what's something that you wish that the general public knew about your business?
Well, right now we've opened up we had to close down the doggy daycare a little bit because of COVID. We reopened it again this year. That's taken off really well. We have a lot of COVID puppies here. Everything from 14-week-old puppies all the way up, and that to 16-year-old dogs here. We keep the numbers low per day, but we have 5 of our own. We keep it around 10 dogs for the doggy daycare. That we can spend more one-on-one times. I can give them a little bit more cuddle time and that as well with them. Our doors are set for it's always open. So our back door is the dogs can go in and out at all times. There's no crates. Everybody's roaming free. So they have free area. Then we say field, and then when they take them to the big 1 acre field, or we say swimming, then they go running up to the dock and they're all going swimming. So sometimes we have 15 dogs in the pool all swimming together or having a blast. So
Oh, that sounds incredible.
like we even have like a 10 by 12 ball pit for the dogs to play in. So the doggy daycares get use of that. Now we can't open it to the public because of COVID. Because how do we sanitize 8,000 balls? So until the COVID part is over, we can reopen it again because everybody loves doing it, especially taking pictures and videos with the dogs in the ball pit and all the colors and that too.
So if someone wanted to get started, whether it was booking swimming with their dog or learning about dock diving, where do they find you? How do they start that process?
Well, we're on the web, caninefunzone.com. You can also find us on Instagram and on Facebook. If you follow us too, you can find out, you can see when the events are coming up and that too. This coming week, we're doing a fundraiser. So we've donated the whole pool, and the National Dog Service are coming in here, and all the proceeds go to them. So normally we try and raise about at least $5,000 per year for different dog charities. Last year we weren't able to do as much because of COVID, so we're trying to start up again. Now that COVID started open up a little bit more. Started to fundraise. So normally once a month we donate the whole facility, to for different charities, and they come in and they run it, and all the proceeds go to them, and try to help the community back as much as we can. We also ask that our clients bring in food donations, because we take money stuff to the food banks once a week, hopefully, or every other week if we get too busy, and that too. So we've had the last one was like a whole grocery cart full of food that we took from all our clients, and they're awesome, and that too. And we're also starting to we've got some lure coursing equipment. So next thing to get some lure coursing or sprinter, like a 100-yard dash set up. That's our next next job to work on, and that too. That's our the next goal. So.
It sounds like your property is an absolute just utopia for dogs. That sounds incredible.
Well, all our friends say if they ever pass away, they might come back as one of our dogs. So that too. Well, everybody comes here, they love it. They have a great time. Says I can't. We're coming back. That's what we hear all the time. We're coming back. Especially like the first time they've been here. And that one's been there a few times, and anytime somebody shows up who's been here for the first time, we do a meet and greet. We go up and show them where everything is. We show them where the water bowls are for the dogs, where the change rooms are, where the porta potties are for as well, and that too. Some of all the toys for the field, chuckets and tennis balls and all that too. And so it's because we have like one of the off leash areas is over an acre. So you can bring your dogs early and potty your dogs, and then afterwards you can run them, let them dry off. We have some picnic tables there, so some people bring a picnic lunch and have a picnic afterwards, and that too. So and spend the whole day here sometimes.
That sounds like such a dream.
Yeah. And also the facility can also rent it as on an hourly basis or half a day or a full day, because sometimes we'll have like puppy pool parties. So it's like last month we had a breeder brought in, I think it was like 20 Goldens here. There's a 1 year, it's all turned 1 year old, so it became all their siblings and that too. So they had a puppy pool party, and then we have big groups get together, like I think McKansas coming again, where all their trainers come and just have like a fun day here. They get to go swimming and playing in the field with the dogs, and have a barbecue. We have barbecue set up as well, and that too. So.
Nice. So we've talked a lot about how you help other people have fun. I would love to hear a little bit more about how you and your pets have fun. So if you can give me a rundown of who lives with you again.
Well, right now we have our old girl is Gemma. She's our silver lab. She's one of our therapy dogs. So she's going to areas to do some therapy work. She goes into the libraries and kids would read to her, and that too. Here we have Ash. Oh, and this is my son's dog. He just came to visit. That's two. Hey, Guinness. And this is Breeza. And this Guinness is coming up here. See Guinness. Guinness. And that too. So we have now going to have 7 for overnight. Yeah, because our grandkids, we haven't seen them in over a year, so they're coming up. They're just here now, so we're going to go visit with them a little bit. I can't wait to see them. So, and that too. Yeah, so Gemma's our old girl, then Marley, then little Louie. He's having some spinal issues, so we got to lift a carry up to help him out. Then Ash and Amber, they're doing really well. We were on CHH News a couple of weeks ago, and the announcer actually got to jump Amber, and then he jumped into the pool afterwards for some fun. So that was a blast doing that. And that too, we did another documentary for another TV show. We've done some training for different companies, for different dog training. Have you ever heard of Hudson and Rex TV show? So we taught Rex how to dog jump for one of his TV shoots and stuff like that. A couple of years ago, we had Super Dogs here. They did a water show, so they did all the training here. That too. So we did a lot of stuff like that. So.
Nice. So outside of competition, what are some of your favorite things to do or places to go within the region?
It just froze a little bit.
Oh, here, I'll re-ask that one.
Yeah.
So outside of competing and having fun on your own property, what are some of your favorite things to do with your dogs here in the region?
Go out for hikes. Just take them into the woods, let them run around, and just let them be dogs. Running around, having a blast. Using their noses, sniffing around, coming back exhausted. Just having like one-on-one time with us. We take 1 or 2 at a time. And then that way we get a little bit more one-on-one time with them as well, rather than being always in a big group. So that makes a difference. My favorite part is I just go out on the field. I go lie on the ground, and the dogs just go nuts. They know that's playtime, so they get rolling the belly rubs and bum rubs, and then they can take ear tickles and stuff like that too. So that's the favorite part.
Oh, nice. Well, it sounds like you ended up in the absolute right business for yourself. It sounds
well, my last name is Wright, so I have it right business.
There you go. Well, Al, it has been a pleasure chatting with you today. Before we end off, I have some quick fire questions for you.
Okay.
All right. So, cat or dog?
Always a dog.
Favorite breed? And I think I know the answer.
Labradors.
What are your pet's favorite treats?
Favorite treats? Anything. They're labs. They eat everything. We have a big apple tree out back. They go help themselves with the apples all the time. That's, you know, got to try and keep them away from the apple trees. They like any, you know, no matter what. They're not picky, that's for sure.
Are your pets full of beans, full of dreams, or full of something entirely different?
Full of love.
Nice. Normally I ask people what actor would play their pet, but since you have a bunch of them, if your labs were a band, what kind of music would they play?
That I don't know. You got me on that one. Well, I had the 7, so we used to call them the Magnificent 7, like we said for movies. So I could say that for the movie, right? Because it's Magnificent 7 and that too. So now we have 5. So the Jackson 5s, I guess.
I love it. All right. So last one. If money and time were no object, what's one incredible thing that you would do with your dogs?
Have a larger property. Something with more forest, so I can run them in my own forest, because we have a little over 3 acres. But it'd be nice to have some forest there with some trails. I could run some trails, you know, right off their own property. So that would be nice to have. We have a river right on the edge of our property, so they can go in and go fishing and swimming with the dogs as well too.
Oh wow. It sounds like such a beautiful, beautiful place. And I hope that everyone listening goes and checks you out. It's been such a pleasure chatting with you. Before we end off, is there anything else you'd like to say to the pet parents in Southwestern Ontario?
Well, the Canine Fun Zone is where the dogs bring their people to play.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Al. And thank you all for listening. This is Laura with Laura Wamwell Photography. And joining me today was Al Wright of Canine Fun Zone. And we both hope that you and your pets have an awesome day. Bye.
Take care, everyone, and stay safe.